Rufus Wainwright. Welcome to eTown. You're such a good singer. Love hearing you sing.
Thank you.
You're a committed singer, man. No, seriously. There's so many ways to sing a song, but I just find you have a facility for getting inside the song and connecting with it in a way that, it just feels like you're really in it, which is lovely.
There was a really high bar growing up, between my dad and my mom and my sister and my aunt. I mean, there's so many great singers in my family. And then to boot, when I was about 13, I became a huge, and still am, opera fan.
Right.
I had this sort of religious conversion to opera. And it's still going strong. And anyway, so I then had to I emulated a lot of those singers. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I think in folk music, a lot of the emphasis was on storytelling or around the instrumentation, or I'm going to be a good banjo player, I'm going to remember these 13 verses to a child ballad or something like that.
Yeah.
And the singing was not incidental, but it wasn't critical to having a good career.
Yeah, I mean, I think the singing. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought of it in those terms before, but you're correct. There was I think there was more of a weight put on in folk music that it be true. You know, that the singer be expressing, what they're really going through as a human being, and whether that's good, bad, or ugly, as opposed to the actual art of singing.
The technique,
So I had to work through that a bit.
You know, it's funny. So you mentioned that Loudon Wainwright III is your dad, and Kate McGarrigle of the McGarrigle sisters, famous Canadian duo, your mom. I started playing at Canadian folk festivals in the 70s when you were probably in attendance with your family.
Yes.
And I remember seeing the McGarrigle sisters and thinking, man, this is a window into a family that is sort of the living embodiment of art and music and food and song and books and literature and some sort of mystical, creative universe.
Yes.
And I didn't understand it. I just was like, that seems like I want in, but I'm probably not cool enough. And you grow up in that, and it's like, is that what it was like?
You know, I think what was amazing about it, and what still is kind of amazing, because, my Aunt Anna's still alive, and my Aunt Jane as well, and Martha, my sister, lives up in Montreal, so there's still that kind of nebulous up there. But is that it was always incredibly real in the sense that they never thought they would be singers at all. There was no concept of being in show business or wanting to be on television. They just kind of were singing, and then someone heard them from Warner Brothers, and they were signed in the 70s, and they kind of just went with it.
Yeah.
And so I think they maintained a lot of their just not normalcy, but their kind of sense of wonder, I guess. They never became super jaded, which is nice.
Well, I think they were also half Irish.
Yes,
and
French-Canadian.
And French-Canadian, but I think in both those civilizations, both those communities, singing after dinner and participating and contributing, it's sort of part of the culture.
Yeah, and definitely for me, I think one of the big things with our family is that my grandmother, Gabby, their mother, was one of 17 children, and... actually 12 children, 17 births, 12 survived, and she never got a chance to perform, on stage. She had to work, during the Depression and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and she was very talented, and so we became kind of her audience. So we were just trying to impress her, and she was the big star, even though she didn't make any records or anything.
Well, it's interesting. You talked about your conversion to opera when you were 13, and obviously you took a left turn or a right turn, or you rebelled.
Definite turn.
Took a definite turn, and part of that was probably understanding your sexuality and your life evolving in front of you as a teenager.
Yeah, well, I think what it was is that it related actually a lot to the time, because I was quite young. I was about 13, and I knew I was gay at that age, but also, and it was 1987 around, so at that point, being gay was basically a death sentence to be a gay man. So I was suddenly, just horrified by the world on a very fundamental level, and also, like, for people my generation, it was when Nirvana started to happen, and people started to get more into grunge, and there was this need for a deeper kind of palette, and opera. I gravitated towards opera.
Yeah, yeah. And now, coming full circle, you turned 50.
Yes.
And now it's time to sort of reassess and see where you've been and where you're heading. And is that what's going on? You're just
well, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I mean, in this artistically, especially. I mean, I have, I'm making albums still and all that. But I have my first musical is being produced in London on the West End, and it's called Opening Night, and it's based on the Cassavetes movie, Opening Night, and it's directed by Ivo van Hove, who's a very well-known director. And then I also have a Requiem Mass that I composed that's being premiered in Paris.
Wow.
So I'm sort of at the top of the game here.
Wow.
Artistically.
So this is really just a pit stop. This whole folk music thing is just a pit stop on the journey you've been on the whole time.
Just, filling up on some folk.
Yeah, there's big money in folk music, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of money. Yeah. Well, good luck, obviously, with all that. I will say that we did a COVID thing. Rufus and I did a remote eTown session during the COVID shutdown. And during that time, I asked you about, well, who would you like to sing with who you really haven't gotten a chance to sing with yet? And you said, Brandi Carlile.
Yes.
And so I called Brandy's manager and I said, hey, there's this guy, Rufus. And and we ended up making a pretty cool thing.
Yes.
During the, as best we could.
Yeah, we did a great song. Yeah, that's such a great. We did the Sandy Denny, Who Knows Where the Time Goes, which is one of the great songs, one of the greatest songs ever written.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing, and of course that video is easy to find if you want to. But it was something that I'm proud to say is now something you and Brandi perform together when you cross paths. And
when she does something with Pink, and then she does that with me. So. And then Joni comes out.
Yeah.
Wipes the floor clean.
Yeah. Well, celebrities, you've chosen a bunch of interesting people to record on this Folkocracy record.
Yes.
So that was a wide palette of folks, from Chaka Khan to David Byrne to Brandi Carlile and many others. How did you just wait to see whose numbers you had, or how did you do that?
There was a little bit of that, and also, we live in Los Angeles, so it was also who was in town, which is one of the great perks of living in Hollywood, is that you can call up, Chaka Khan if you need to. I think anybody can. She's very approachable, actually. And anyway, so it was that, but I also kind of wanted singers who you didn't necessarily associate with folk to be on the record. People like John Legend and so forth, who just would give it the material a little more of a slant.
Well, good luck with the Grammy nomination. Good luck with your Requiem. Good luck with your musical.
Thank you.
Good luck with your frenetic and creative path.
Yes.
That has.
Now I just got to work on my belly. That's
yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
I think that comes with that creates some gravitas.
There you go. There you go.
So it's okay. Meanwhile, I'm happy you could stop by. It's great to play some music with you too. We're going to do a couple more, right?
Yes, great.
Let's play some more songs.
Okay.
Welcome back, if you would, Rufus Wainwright.